The Tampa Bay Buccaneers continue to make additions to their coaching staff. This time, however, it is on the defensive side of the coaching staff. It has been reported that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have added George Edwards as their new outside linebackers coach. Joining me, as he has for a lot of videos recently, is my friend Mr. Evan Wanish, my colleague at BucsNation.com, the co-host of the Cannon Fire podcast, and the main host of the Real to Real podcast. Evan, new outside linebackers coach. Pretty cool.
Yeah, and actually, quite a significant hire. I mean, this is a guy like we talked about with Skip Pete. This guy has a lot of experience, and he has experience in some pretty high roles. He's been multiple different defensive assistants, but he was the then Washington Redskins. In 2003, he was their defensive coordinator, and he was also the defensive coordinator of the Buffalo Bills. And with the Vikings in 2014 to 2019 was the co-defensive coordinator, and actually got an interview with the Bucs to be their head coach when they hired Bruce Arians. So this is a guy who, I mean, not like he's been a hot name, but he has gotten some head coaching buzz. So pretty significant hire here to help, to help on the defensive side. Is that was one of the few positions that they needed to fill on the defensive side of the coaching staff, but now they got a pretty good one, I think.
Yeah, this is the second coach the Buccaneers have brought over from the Dallas Cowboys, by the way, because he served as a senior defensive assistant for the Cowboys for the past couple of years. But like you said, this guy has gotten head coaching considerations in the past, not just from the Buccaneers, but from other teams around the league. He's been a defensive coordinator for multiple teams in the past as well. Like, he's a good coach. And this is probably the second most exciting coaching hire the Buccaneers have made besides Dave Canales. And I think that this is, like you said at the beginning of this video, a really, really solid hire. I think that a guy like George Edwards, you take a look at the work that he has done in the past with the Vikings and with some of those other teams that he's been around. He was the Bills defensive coordinator as well. This dude has been a lot of places, and I think that it's going to be very beneficial to an outside linebackers group that certainly is going to be seeing some change, Evan. You look at Shaq Barrett. He's coming back from a very tough injury. Joe Tryon Shawinka just had his first full year as a starter, but you also have some question marks after depth as well with Jannard Avery, Anthony Nelson, Carl Nassiball having expiring contracts. It's good that they have a very experienced, in my opinion, a very, very good coach manning that group. Would you agree?
Yeah, no, and I think with a guy like Troshan Shoyinka, it's going to pay dividends. Just like we talked about with the running backs coach, having a guy like Rashad White learn from him, I think having a guy like Troshan Shoyinka learn from George Edwards is pretty massive. So, and they have a lot of free agents at that position. Like I imagine that there's going to be at least one younger guy in that mix as well. I would imagine one of their draft picks is probably going to be spent on a pass rusher. So I think it would be beneficial for those guys to be able to learn from a guy like Edwards.
Yeah, this is a really cool hire, and depending on how long Todd Bowles' tenure is, who knows? It could be just after this season, it could be later. Who has any idea? Nobody at the end of the day. But I really think that George Edwards is. You got to assume one of the top assistants on this coaching staff right now, right? Besides obviously offensive coordinator and the co-defensive coordinators, he's definitely got to be one of the top, if not the top assistant right now on both sides of the football, right?
Yeah, I would think so, and we'll see how much input. The outside linebackers coach, the title might just be that. We'll see how much of an input that he may have. But yeah, I do think it's a for just an outside linebackers coach, it's a pretty significant name there. So that holds a lot of weight. So I do think that it's going to really, really help their defense a lot. Now, I mean, obviously, this is with every coach too. Players have to go out there and play. Like, there's only so much a coach can do, but it does help to have such an experienced guy who's been around the block, who knows what good defensive lines look like, who's seen every type of defense imaginable that you can throw at them. And I think it's going to really help. Like I said, man, it's going to really help those young guys. And it's a critical year for a guy like JTS. It really is. And I I personally thought he was much better this season than a lot of people did, but um, some people have been disappointed, and I think that this year is sort of make or break for him. He's going into year three. He was a first round pick, and I think he needs to sort of prove to people that he can be a productive pass rusher, and this could really help him do that.
So, folks, we'll see how George Edwards gets along here as the team's new outside linebackers coach. Let us know your thoughts and opinions about this hire down in the comments section below. We would love to see your thoughts and opinions. Go check out Evan's work over at BucsNation.com and at the Cannon Fire podcast, as well as the Real to Real podcast, which I'm a part of as well. That would be greatly appreciated. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you all enjoyed. And as always, folks, we will see you all in the next video or the next live stream. But until then, and as always, guys, goodbye for now, and go Bucs.